This is the ultimate trophy. The magnificent antlered head of the male moose has for them an almost mythic quality. They all have their stories of triumph and defeat on the hunting trail. And parading their prize is the crowning achievement of the autumn hunting season. But the moose does not belong solely to the lore of the hunter. From native motifs to reflections in modern art and in the work of the world's best wildlife photographers, the silhouette of an antlered moose has symbolic meaning that runs deep in the collective consciousness of North Americans. The head is so familiar, and yet very little is known about the beast behind this symbol of silent strength. The moose is the largest member of the deer family in North America. In fact, it is one of the largest mammals in this part of the world. It is also one of the most difficult to observe. Moose are solitary by nature and spurn contact with humans. Their social behavior remains an enigma. How do moose communicate among themselves? What is the significance of the antlers that the bulls devote 5 long months every year to growing? Why is this adornment so important? What role do the antlers play in the intense and noisy period of the rut? As is the case with most members of the deer family, the female moose has no antlers. However, the antlers are grown entirely for her benefit, to attract her, to lure her away from other males, to entice her into mating. For her alone, the male grows the immense antlers year after year that describe his social rank and his maturity as a sire. When mating season arrives in the forest, it is usually the female who makes her presence known by her mating call. Guided by the calls, bulls will cover enormous distances in search of a mate. Having made her appeal, the female listens for a response. This bull is moving in her direction and will probably mate with her after a lengthy ritual. A dialogue is established. During the mating ritual, familiar sounds and familiar odors will play a very important role. It is with patient caresses repeated over and over again that the male provokes her ovulation and convinces her to mate with him. The bull inhales her hormonal scent through olfactory glands located in the palate. But even more important than scent and sound is the visual contact that takes place during mating. During this period, the female carefully observes her mate. She uses her eyes to evaluate him and to communicate with him. With all his senses on the alert, the bull licks his lips and salivates copiously. The signs are all there. It's a good guess that these two will eventually mate. Day after day, night after night, the male is unrelenting in his pursuit of the female he has chosen. As is common among the deer family, the male moose will not mount the female until the precise moment that his senses assure him she is ready. Compared with the long and extremely ritualized period of courting, the actual mating is very brief. It seems almost an anticlimax. That fleeting moment was the culmination of a lengthy and ritualized courtship. Throughout their courtship, the bull and the cow communicated in their own complex language. A cone made of birch bark is used to imitate the call of a female moose in heat. Will a bull be taken in? Perhaps. But despite popular belief to the contrary and the tall tales of hunters, there is no guarantee. To attract a moose takes tremendous patience. This male, who is difficult to see, seems a little uncertain. He seems to need convincing. Maybe a mask will do the trick. He is salivating. The mask has succeeded in getting his attention. But will it hold his attention? Will this unusual-looking female succeed in misleading him? How long will she be able to dupe him? Is he just suspicious, or has the mask failed to take in this wary fellow? He decides not to take a chance. We'll have to try again another time. But for Anthony Bubenik, accompanied here by his marksman, this is not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Dr. Bubenik has devoted more than 35 years of his life to observing the deer family and studying their behavior. The Toronto researcher, biochemist, and ethologist is the author of a number of scientific works. But his biggest accomplishment is his facility with the language of the animals he studies. Even at 73, Anthony Bubenik thinks nothing of donning one of his huge headdresses to speak, as it were, face to face with one of these creatures, in their territory and on their terms. What you are about to see has been witnessed by very few people. It took 2 autumn seasons, some pretty elaborate installations, not to mention a dash of bravado, to film these scenes of Bubenik interacting with wild moose in Canada's Algonquin Park. Huh? It is not just anyone who would dare to confront a moose during the rut with only a pair of homemade antlers for protection. The evening before the big day, the crew is busy with last-minute preparations. Bubenik and his assistants unload the moose headdresses, that will be vital to the little drama we have planned, provided a cooperative moose consents to put in an appearance. As dawn breaks over the forest glade, an observation tower emerges out of the mist. The glade was carefully chosen as a likely spot for moose to meet. The tower screens the cameraman, the walkie-talkie coordinator, and a marksman in case a moose decides to charge. A scout crouches in the second tower. A second cameraman captures Bubenik done up like a female moose crossing the clearing. Could there be only one moose in the area? It is possible. And will that one moose respond to the call? Although Algonquin Park has a large moose population, they are wild creatures and not given to falling in with man's best laid plans. A response at last. The cameras roll. Like a phantom, the shadowy silhouette of a moose bull materializes out of the mist. But sensing that something is amiss, the somber old fellow moves off almost immediately. Only Bubenik persists in believing that he will come back. However, we will have to wait another year before the denouement of this little drama can unfold.
The Language of Antlers will return on Discovery Sunday. Next, the technology of aircraft on the nature of things. Tomorrow, the first coast-to-coast flight on Frontiers of Flight and preventing a heart attack on Discovery Showcase, coming up only on the Discovery Channel.
There's a perfect wine for every occasion. This afternoon, John has chosen a Chardonnay from the cellars of Ernest and Giulio Gallo, two men who spent over half a century perfecting their art. What could be more perfect? Well, almost perfect. The Chardonnay of Ernest and Giulio Gallo.
At MCI, whether you speak Cantonese,
Ronnie Chen, I'm with MCI International.
Japanese,
My name is Michiko Muneoka.
Spanish,
I'm Mike Tomas.
you should know that MCI offers operators, calling cards, even voice instructions in your language.
If you speak Mandarin and you are an MCI customer, your operator will speak Mandarin and your calling card will be in Chinese.
Of course, those services are also available to our English-speaking customers, even those who speak with an accent.
Join MCI and friends around the world and get $35 of free calling worldwide.
Just a whistle stop from Cincinnati. There's a place you can still hear the clickety-clack of the old Wabash cannonball. Or catch the golden arrow to Calais, all in the same room. It's the Garden Railway Company, a favorite destination for train buffs the world over. But if you go, bring your love of the steel wheels and your Visa card. Because at Garden Railway, you can buy the Orient Express. But you can't buy anything with American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Free popcorn for the kids, inflatable gorillas, searchlights. Look, we thought of them all. But we found the best way to get you into an Eagle dealership is an Eagle. Like this Eagle Vision. A 3.3-liter V6 sports sedan with four-wheel disc brakes, touring suspension, even driver and front passenger airbags. All at a surprisingly reasonable price. So avoid the circus tents, pony rides, and stop in for something different.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Tuesday nights, an hour of ideas whose time had come, and ones that will shape our future. Don't miss Invention and Next Step. Tuesdays beginning at 10 Mountain, 9 Pacific. Only on the Discovery Channel.
concussions, a broken leg, 2 knee operations, fractured collarbone, and I don't know how many busted noses. There's just no way Ronnie should still be here playing a game like football. The guy must have a screw loose. Loose screw, you can add that to his list of injuries, too.
We know how crazy it gets around the holidays. It's tougher to save time and money. That's why at Lucky we're all working harder, doing what it takes to keep prices lower overall. It's why we've got such a great price on ham for our customers. Now just 69 cents a pound. And we're saving them time too with Three's a Crowd. We're getting tougher to make your holiday easier.
Discovery Sunday now returns with The Language of Antlers.
No. Try it. You try it.
Anthony Bubenik can attract moose bulls because he has mastered the art of imitating the mating call of the female. The male's response is not as easy to imitate. Bubenik will have to swish his antlers through the brush as part of his ruse to convince a wary bull that a female is close by. He has to simulate the presence of another bull in the area. Once the female has made her appeal, it is likely that more than one male will respond to her invitation. During mating season, every sound the moose makes is a means of communication. With this peculiar gait, striking the ground first with the toe and then the heel of the same foot, Bubenik can make his 2 feet sound like the steps of a 4-legged beast. Hearing also plays a very significant role in the formation of couples. The moose's ears are extremely sensitive and mobile. This female is trying to figure out what kind of sound she's hearing and where it's coming from by pivoting her ears in all directions. Having carefully observed moose bulls in the act of listening, it struck us that their hearing might be even more acute because of the satellite dish effect of their palmated antlers. To test our hypothesis, we installed a microphone at the base of a moose's ear. The microphone was hooked up to a modulometer to measure auditory reception. Finally, the ear was placed on the antlered head directly in front of the source of sound. First, we measured how much the ear picked up when it was pointing directly at the speaker. Then we turned the ear toward the center of the antlers. It was with great satisfaction that we saw that the degree of auditory perception remained almost identical. When the ear was oriented in any other direction, there was an appreciable loss of hearing, confirming that the antlers do play a role in the bull's ability to hear. But ears are not only for hearing. This female sends a clear signal that the bull is bothering her by flattening her ears. He reads the visual clue and quickly takes the hint. What exactly did he see? How accurate is a moose's visual perception? The moose's field of vision is greater than ours on the horizontal plane, but it is restricted on the vertical plane. Let's compare the eye of a moose with the human eye. The moose's pupil is elliptical, whereas ours is perfectly round. This is not without its inconveniences. The moose has to move its head up and down to see what is right in front of it. However, because of the mobility of its eyes, the moose sees more on the horizontal plane than we do. The field of vision for a single eye is approximately 180 degrees. So looking straight ahead with both eyes, the moose's view is almost panoramic. But its mobile eyes can also focus on what would be for us within peripheral vision. This means that the moose can see almost everything around it. It has only a small blind spot that follows the axle of its body. A year after our first attempt to film a real moose interacting with one of Anthony Bubenek's masks, we returned to the same clearing. The site of our theatrical machinations. The scene is set once again for our little drama. This time it is Peter Smith, one of Bubenek's collaborators, who will play the pivotal role of the female moose. Alone in the middle of the clearing, he makes his appeal. Have his calls been heard? Will a moose deign to respond to them? A sound. Those snapping branches are promising. Everyone is on the alert.
Okay, I'm ready. Call more frequently and loudly.
The big moment is approaching. The long-awaited protagonist is about to put in an appearance. Here he is at last. The size of his antlers indicate that he's young. The scenario begins to unfold. Where is this female I heard? He wonders. There she is. The young moose begins his overtures. But what's this? Who is this intruder? Another bull in the area? The young moose decides to evaluate their relative social rank before trying to oust him. It is, of course, one of Bubenek's dummies. But will these antlers be sufficiently large to intimidate our cocky young protagonist? The marksman readies himself, just in case. Bubenek's antlers don't seem to discourage the moose. Nothing about his comportment indicates that he intends to move off. In fact, he seems quite prepared to confront this rival. The young moose is determined to stay and court the female whose call he is responding to. This has gone on long enough. Bubenik prudently retreats, turning his profile to the moose as a sign that he is giving up. The young moose turns his attention again to finding the invisible female. Meanwhile, Bubenik is in the wings, preparing an unpleasant surprise for the young moose. Among moose, the size and configuration of their antlers plays a critical role in the ritualized confrontation that marks the meeting between any two bulls looking to mate with the same female. Our young moose is about to show us just how important. Watch what happens. He salivates in anticipation as he explores the area, still looking for signs of the elusive female. Where are these new sounds coming from? There's a new player in this little drama. And what a player. The young moose finds this all very perplexing. Now that's a set of antlers to be reckoned with. Maybe it would be a good idea to concede. No, he seems determined to stick it out. This young moose has guts. We'll show him everything we've got. There, he's got the message. Or has he? Have a good look at these, and think again. Now he really has got the message. Exit the young moose.
Take it off. I have enough. It's very hot at the meadow.
In spite of his inexperience, the young moose could see that he couldn't measure up to a more mature bull. The enormous fake antlers had him completely fooled. Anthony Bubenik can breathe easy again. What our little drama proves beyond a doubt is that the language of antlers is extremely explicit.
The Language of Antlers will return on Discovery Sunday.
Aviation Greats, Monday at 9 Mountain, 8 Pacific on Frontiers of Flight.
This year, enjoy a very private getaway. No phones, no faxes, only you. And water that's always just right.
Wow! Hey! Whoa! Hey! Hey! You make me feel so good. Make me feel so good right now. Make me feel so good.
Get away with the shower massage by Teledyne Waterpik.
You make me feel so good.
Why put up with glasses that are too heavy? LensCrafters exclusive featherweight lenses are lighter, slimmer, and oh so comfortable.
I never knew glasses could be this comfortable.
LensCrafters exclusive featherweight lenses. Lighter weight for greater comfort in about an hour.
I really like Rice Krispie treats. You can make them. They're really easy. I watch my mom. Yeah? First you melt some marshmallow and margarine. Then you pour in the Kellogg's Rice Krispies. Then you come out of the kitchen and put your hand like this and say, finally done. Then you could take it out to dinner.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies treats. And this holiday, make a batch for whoever drops in.
There's a perfect wine for every occasion. This afternoon, John has chosen a Chardonnay from the cellars of Ernest and Julio Gallo, two men who spent over half a century perfecting their art. What could be more perfect? Well, almost perfect. The Chardonnay of Ernest and Julio Gallo.
If you're tired of those automobiles that isolate, insulate, and virtually remove you from the outside world, may we recommend the new Defender from Land Rover. It can make life a bit more exciting.
Two people
We have been suffering in silence for a long time.
fighting for one land
Violence is there, inside us.
in the name of God.
We can never forgive them for turning our boys into killers.
Join host John Palmer for a film that will change your view of the Middle East forever. Don't miss Deadly Currents, Wednesday at 10 Mountain, 9 Pacific, only on Discovery Journal. There's no question about it.
I was in my bed, and I heard these bells.
Something's in the air,
Yep, it really is a fruitcake.
and it's headed your way.
What's wrong with fruitcake?
A special holiday lineup. Some festive favorites, old and new. So put on your best and rush to the set for Yuletide cheer all weekend beginning Christmas Eve, only on the Discovery Channel. Discovery Sunday now returns with The Language of Antlers.
It is a language of visual signals, full of formality and ritual. Each male has an instinctive knowledge of the exact size of his antlers and of his social rank vis-a-vis another bull. When two males meet face to face, a slow pantomime begins to unfold, and then suddenly reaches its climax. Farther north, where the edge of the forest meets the tundra, two males cautiously feel each other out. By showing his flank, one of them is sending a clear signal that he refuses to get involved in any hostilities. It's another example of how a simple gesture is all it takes to diffuse a potentially combative situation. But it isn't always so simple. A few miles away on the tundra, a completely different meeting between two bulls is about to take place. One of the bulls keeps a watchful eye over his harem. The appearance of the second bull looking for females could portend a violent confrontation. Given that the two bulls are of the same rank and stature, it's unlikely that either will willingly wave the white flag. The inevitable happens. The rivals face off, and each tries to intimidate the other. This time, the ritualized swinging of the antlers will not be enough to forestall the confrontation. Exhausted by the extraordinary violence of the battle, the master of the harem gives up the fight and moves off. The male spreads his pungent and provocative scent by coating his antlers and his body with urine. Meanwhile, the females make the rounds and quarrel among themselves over who is closest to ovulation. With her aggressiveness, and by inhaling the male's hormonal scent, this female lets it be known in no uncertain terms that she is about to ovulate and wants to mate first. But the master of the harem must continue to check the rest of his cows. The male will not give his undivided attention to any one of them until the exact moment of ovulation, the moment that guarantees the perpetuation of the species.
The Language of Antlers will return on Discovery Sunday.
This portion of Discovery is brought to you in part by American Airlines.
Hey, early again, huh, Frank?
I don't say this to many people. But what we do, the job we do,
Okay, guys, listen up.
is the most important job I can think of.
You've got a flight control check. Lewis and Randolph.
I mean, there's no such thing as a B-plus mechanic on this airline.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Everybody knows their job. Everybody's responsible. Anybody, right down to the most junior mechanic, can keep an airplane in this hangar if there's the slightest hint of a problem. You might think, doing a job like this, day in, day out, it'd become routine. You know, just turning wrenches. But every now and then, I just go up and take a walk through the terminal. And right there, right in front of you, you see what's important.
Some mountains are over 500 million years old. And while water still covers over 2/3 of them, Jeep covers the rest.
Listen.
See the future.
See it now.
Say it.
Seiko.
Seiko.
A spark.
To have.
A flame.
To hold.
Seiko. Beauty in motion.
Advanced towards precision. A vision.
Seiko. The future of time.
Next, the technology of aircraft on the nature of things. Tomorrow, the first coast-to-coast flight on Frontiers of Flight, and preventing a heart attack on Discovery Showcase, coming up only on the Discovery Channel.
Tuesday nights, an hour of ideas whose time had come, and ones that will shape our future. Don't miss Invention and Next Step, Tuesdays beginning at 10 Mountain, 9 Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel.
When it comes to home comfort, there are many contemporary issues. Mediterranean, a family-owned and operated company since 1968, along with Linux, has solutions to these issues and more.
Is the temperature evenly balanced throughout your home? Are there certain rooms or areas in your home that you would like more comfortable? Mediterranean will conduct a free survey offering the incredible Lennox Harmony zoning control system. Mediterranean offers a full line of quality Lennox products. Lennox and Mediterranean, geared to customer satisfaction.
Since 1969, Woodland Casual and the Simon family have been serving the Valley with one of the largest selections of rattan, wicker, and patio furniture. Dining sets start at just $3.99. Beautiful living, family, and bedroom designs in wicker and rattan. For quality, service, and selection, it's always been Woodland Casual in Woodland Hills at 19855 Ventura Boulevard, 3 blocks east of Winnetka.
Discovery Sunday now returns with The Language of Antlers.
The noisy ritual of mating is followed by the silence of gestation. When the bulls lose their antlers, it signals the beginning of the long, numbing winter. Once the mating season is over, once the survival of the species has been assured, the moose becomes once again a solitary beast. For the upteenth time, an old bull works furiously away at getting rid of what he put so much time and effort into building. The antlers he used to impose his dominance and to attract mates have become a superfluous and cumbersome adornment. When they fall off, the antlers leave nothing more than a deep, rough cavity. According to Bubenik, moose do not have offensive antlers. Their configuration is such that the tines could not seriously injure a rival during a confrontation. But it does occasionally happen, accidentally, that two sets of antlers become inextricably entangled during combat. Leading to a slow and agonizing death for the two bulls. Surviving winter is a more difficult battle for the moose. Fleeing predators, withstanding the rigors of the climate, and finding enough to eat are all major challenges. The pregnant female must also teach last year's calf how to walk through the deep snow and how to find food. Communication between adults is completely severed. The animal patiently waits for spring. And then the cycle begins all over again. At the end of March, new antlers begin to grow on the foreheads of the bulls. In a few short weeks, they are transformed into young antlers in velvet. As the males rebuild their antlers, the females devote all their time to their new calves. Right after they are born, they are carefully licked dry. A few minutes later, the calf struggles to get up on its four spindly legs. The mother uses scent and sound to communicate with her young calf. To help it find the udder, she expresses some milk and draws a line with it across her belly for the calf to follow. During their first hours, when they are at their most vulnerable, the calves are completely dependent on their mother for both nourishment and protection. Aquatic plants are rich in sulfur and mineral salts. The moose bulls seek them out to replenish their energy reserves and build their new antlers. At this point in their development, the antlers are extremely sensitive. The moose treat them gingerly when they come together. A stamp of the foot will quickly put an end to the overcrowding. Between mother and child, however, communication is much more intimate. The mother's saliva will help the moose calves to develop their intestinal flora, which is essential to their ability to digest. When she is sure there is no danger, the mother will introduce her young to the stream. The growing antlers are irrigated by many tiny blood vessels, which attract thousands of mosquitoes. It is always with great care that the moose tries to shoo them away. When summer arrives, the male's heightened hormonal level causes the antlers to harden. The circulation of blood is cut off. The velvet coating detaches and falls off in clumps. The bulls rub their antlers against the brush. The coagulated blood reacts with the sap in the plants and makes the surface of the antlers dark and luminous so that they sparkle in the sun. And so the bulls devote themselves to building their magnificent antlers, which will only be used for one brief ceremony. After his years of trying to decipher the vocabulary of antlers, Anthony Bubenik was enthusiastic about sharing his findings with another researcher who has also dedicated his life to studying ritualization in the animal world. Nobel laureate Konrad Lorenz is considered by many to be the father of modern ethology. He is world-renowned for his work on animal behavior. A contemplative and careful observer, his interests extend beyond his famous gray-lag geese. When he had seen the startling new footage of the North American moose and heard Bubenik's comments, Lorenz was full of excitement. And as the world has come to expect of him, his observations were profound.
Je suis très content de parler avec le professeur Bubenik, qui a étudié des animaux très différents à ceux qui m'ont
It gives me great pleasure to talk with Professor Bubenik, who has studied very different animals from the ones my colleagues and I concerned ourselves with, and to find that these big animals, particularly the communication between these big animals, such as deer and moose. How do you say moose in French?
L'orignal. Sont produits sur les mêmes principes.
Follows the same principles as communication between small birds and even fish.
Je suis très satisfait, je suis fier.
And you know, it gives me great satisfaction and pride to know that the concepts Nicholas Tinbergen and I formulated for fish and birds are also applicable to big mammals, particularly the principle of ritualization, whose most important function is to diffuse aggression, to render aggressive behavior less dangerous for two members of the same species.
De faire le comportement agressif moins dangereux pour le camp spécifique. Trouverait quelque temps une analogie dans le comportement humain.
If any analogy is to be made in human behavior,
Se tuer avec les armes nucléaires, on trouverait.
It is that instead of resorting to nuclear arms, we should find ways of resolving conflict that are purely ritualized.
Résoudre un conflit par des moyens purement ritualisés.
And if Lorenz is right, the behavior of beasts that we consider to be inferior might hold the clue to the survival of our own species.
From primitive flying machines to rockets in outer space, explore the revolution in flight next on The Nature of Things. Then, tomorrow at midnight, learn the early warning signs of a heart attack on Discovery Showcase, only on the Discovery Channel.
No.
Moments of Courage, Mondays at 10 Eastern, 9 Central.